Since we was talking about daytime talk show, let's get into some reality TV news. Because apparently word on the curve is Mob Wives is coming back to our TV screens with none other than Renee Graziano. She's the only one that, well, she announced it, that she's making a comeback to reviving the show. And so we'll also mention whether or not Drita DeVanzo, who y'all know is about to appear on season 3 of House of Villains. If is it season 3 or season 4? I don't know. I have to check my notes. But the upcoming season, we'll just say that to be on the safe side of, okay, it's season 3. I just looked. Drita DeVanzo, well, I'll let you know whether or not she's gonna be returning. But let's get into the story. So shout out to Reality T, among others, because I think Deadline had this story too. But another legendary reality show could be getting the reboot treatment. The word on the street is that the creators behind the hit show Mob Wives are looking to revive the show 10 years after its conclusion on VH1. According to a report, Renee Graziano is ready to bust out of her fur coat and return to the spotlight, but one of her former co-stars has already sworn off the idea. So TMZ got all the details on this Mob Wives reboot. Renee's sister, Jennifer Graziano, will return to executive produce the show, and they're hoping production will start later this year. They're still shopping around networks, but the wheels are definitely turning here. Supposedly, talks of this reboot have been fueled by the mob wife aesthetic trend on social media. Where have I been? Because I didn't even know there was a whole mob wife aesthetic thing going on that was trending. So I guess people are interested in the whole gangster wife situation. If this Mob Wives revival comes to fruition, Renee will definitely be the leading lady, but the rest of the lineup is unconfirmed. There's a possibility that some of the original cast members could make cameo appearance. You think Karen gonna come back? I don't know if Karen would return. At the moment, all of those details are still up in the air. Now, meanwhile, one original cast member has already made it extremely clear that she won't be participating, which I'm disappointed about, because the only reason why I would have been watching the show is if Drita was coming back. But Drita DeVanzo says she is not coming back. She has no interest in doing the show and said that she's focused on other projects like her appearance on the upcoming 3rd season of House of Villains and a soon to be announced scripted series. So she's got a scripted series going on. As I know, back in 2011 is when the show premiered, with Renee, Drita, Carla Facciolo, and Karen Gravano as its main cast. The show ran for 6 seasons and spawned 3 spinoffs, including 2 big Ange shows and painfully short-lived Mob Wives Chicago. So they've tried to spin off the show. It just didn't have that same vibe. I just guess Staten Island girls are just, built different. So that's probably why the show was successful the way it was. And here's the thing. I was a Mob Wives fiend. I used to love that show. I used to love the fights and everything that was going on there. Remember when she called Drita a cunt? And they was up in there fighting? And what was it? Oh, it was her and Karen. And then Renee was trying to get in to break it up, and she got tangled up all in the mix. And you saw her little girdle and everything. It was a mess. But I used to love that show because of the fights. And of course, Big Ange, may she rest in peace. She was like just a great aspect to the coach because she was so silly. She was funny and she was entertaining. And I used to like the show. But here's the question, because while we have long in the tube shows that have just announced that they've been canceled, like it was just announced that Basketball Wives, speaking of wives, won't be returning for another season. And I'm like, thank God, because that show was long in the tube. They should have canceled that eons ago. I saw a commentator, Tyreek, can't remember his full handle. Forgive me. He's a big old, New York City butch queen. Live for him and his TikToks and all other stuff because he's hilarious. But he goes by, his name is Tyreek. But he was announcing that Basketball Wives not Basketball Wives. He was announcing that Love and Hip Hop was canceled. I'm like looking it up and I didn't see that information was coming out. So I don't think Love and Hip Hop was canceled. It needs to be, because that show's been on for far too long. Y'all recycling the same storylines. It's the same tired ass people on there. And I understand Rashida, this is the only place she goes to get a check. But at this point, we don't care about her and Kurt. I don't care about Carly Red. I don't care about them same tired ass people y'all got down in Atlanta on this show. And it seems like that it's just tired. And that whole situation on these shows, the Basketball Wives and the Love and Hip Hops and all this stuff, it's a little long in the tooth. And also, I was saying the same thing about the Bravo shows. these Real Housewives, some of these shows need to get the chop too. Because I feel like a lot of these shows have been on for far too long. It's the same old tired ass storyline, same old ass broads doing the same old ass shit. And I'm just like, it's time to just move on to evolving these shows. But since it ain't up to me on whether or not Malwives get made, because they did say that they're shopping it around, I guess they're going to find some girls to put it all together and have Karen, not Karen, Renee, who you see in the center. That's Renee. And then the one next to her with the reddish hair, that's Drita with the jacket and the white top. In case anybody don't know who is who. We have people who probably came up before Mob Wives that don't know who any of these broads are. But let me tell you something. If you want to see real bunch of broads from Staten Island throwing them bows and fighting like dudes, oh, this was definitely the show. I just love the show. And if you want to watch old episodes of My Wives, it's on Paramount Plus. So if you have it, you could definitely give it a binge. I was even thinking about rewatching it. I was thinking also another show I was thinking about rewatching, since we're about to get the docu-series on it, is America's Next Top Model, which they got all the seasons on Hulu. So, when I be in my nostalgia bag, instead of me running back and rewatching old episodes of Drag Race until I'm just sick of watching it, because that's what I've been doing. Now I'm up to All Stars 3 again. So, I don't know. I mean, it all depends on. I got to see a trailer, but I kind of feel like I've outgrown this franchise. I don't feel like the show still has that much momentum. Like I care enough. I just probably got to see a trailer and see if it's entertaining. But just watching a bunch of women fighting and pulling each other's hair, I don't know if I feel like I've outgrown that style of watch of TV. That's why also, like I told y'all before, I haven't really been watching The Real Housewives. Like normally, I have yet to watch this season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I haven't seen it yet. I've been catching up on the Traitors, but which they have some housewives on. But yeah, I haven't really watched the Housewives, and I've watched every season of the Housewives of Beverly Hills. But I'm starting to feel like as I get older, I'm starting to outgrow that style of entertainment. So I don't know if there's still an audience for that. I mean, I get the nostalgia of it all, and I guess that this thing that they're talking about that's trending on social media may spark some interest, but I kind of feel like that ship has sailed for My Wives unless y'all could come up with a good stories for the show and find a network to show it. But I feel like My Wives will probably thrive at this point on a streaming service versus it being on a network like a VH1 or whatever. I say put it on Paramount Plus. Maybe they could use some ratings over there on that damn streaming service. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Are you looking forward to the fact that we're getting a Mob Wives revival? And would you be interested in wanting to check out a Mob Wives revival? And who do you think in this day and age would be a good to add to this show? I don't know any of these. Well, I didn't quite as I didn't know any of the bros that when it was on the first time around. Who do you think would be entertaining enough to be on this show? So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.